Aloha. Welcome to TMDR, the Maui Daily Report for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. I'm Chivo Ching Johnson. These are some of the stories that may interest you today. 4 years ago, police raided a homeless encampment on Amala Place, violating people's rights by clearing out all of their belongings. Now the houseless community is back living in makeshift structures, old cars, and tents. The county is still in a quandary as to what to do, but for now, the county is helping to keep the area clean by respectfully removing rubbish. Or is it? The ACLU fears illegal destruction of property may be next. Meanwhile, homelessness in Hawaiʻi remains the worst in the nation. Here's a clip from that sweep back in 2021.
This community, Pu'onu Okanaha, to speak on the press release that the mayor posted on September 1st. Today is Wednesday, September 8th, and we are down on Amala Place with residents talking about kind of what it's been like to receive notice that the area is going to be cleaned up, which is also could be swept, it could be compassionate relocation. There's lots of different terms. To give a schedule. We have asked them for this, and we haven't received it.
Communication and the right information, not just hearsay or what one person says, because like we said, everybody's story is different and the reason why they're here. Everybody has their own things that they're dealing with on the reason why they're down here. I mean, just a common courtesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're going to be driving up and down this road every day, at least stop and give us a flyer or something. Letting us know.
Or they don't look at us.
Look down at us.
What we need here is, if you can't give us a home right now, at least the bathroom and showers, where we can running water. You know what I mean? We continuously look. We're getting kicked out from every place because we're using their water. The positive solution to the situation is that in the press statement he said they won't clean up or sweep until all residents settled in new accommodation.
Nobody has a home if the earth becomes unlivable. That goes without saying. At noon today, Governor Josh Green signed legislation to help Hawaiʻi mitigate the impacts of climate change. He was joined by members of the House and Senate and Climate Advisory Team Chair Chris Benjamin. Here's a clip of that meeting.
It is absolutely landmark legislation that we're signing today, which took us a couple years, and that's what it takes to look at the pros and cons of what a climate impact fee would look like. What do you make sure that you emphasize? How much does it actually cost us? I know what tourism means to us. I know how extraordinary the job you do is to keep our economy going, to make sure that we have a budget, that we bring in billions of dollars into our state. But what they did was they looked at the greater good for tourism, the greater good for the people of Hawaii, the greater good for our planet. It makes history because it's the first of its kind in our country. Some of the plan was derived from what they did in Palau, but that's not so easy when you are part of the United States of America. You have a lot of considerations to do. We couldn't get it across the finish line because we didn't have enough expertise, enough people at the table. Then the wildfire occurred.
Our goal was to try to acknowledge that Hawaii is vulnerable and try to find ways to make us less vulnerable.
As the chair of Tourism and Economic Development, the impacts are real, whether it be to us as individuals, but more so the bill was more about being fair process of those that come to visit that also share in some of the things that we share in, and it's to make sure that the places they visit, our natural resources, are cared for and taken care of.
We want to acknowledge that our tourism economy relies heavily on its branding, and a significant part of that branding relies on our natural, pristine environment. Park maintenance, as well as beach maintenance and restoration projects.
Specify in the bill what the money has to go to. That became a moot point. It will require that each year we come up with an updated plan. We are wrestling with what the federal government is doing on many different levels, and that's what we're going to address together if we need to come back together in special session on funds. They made the right call completely to build the structure the bill this way, but not touch the rainy day funds. Revenues could very well decrease as people wrestle with whether or not they're going to travel to Hawaii. And what capacity do we have to take some of this money and float a large bond, an environmental bond, if you will? So to give you an example, if someone, let's say they had a $4,000 bill over the course of a couple weeks, they would spend an additional $30. A relatively small number, but as you all know, to have $100 million come in and have the capacity to magnify that with bonds and with other programs, they will see benefits that far exceed that expense.
Friday afternoon, there was a report of 2 individuals having difficulty in the water about 50 yards offshore at the Ahihi-Kinau Natural Area Reserve, or La Perouse. Unfortunately, they were both pulled from the ocean unresponsive. CPR was reportedly attempted, but was unsuccessful. Our condolences go out to their families and loved ones. And that's not all. Sunday afternoon, 4 teenagers on a raft were unable to get back to shore from the point off of Polo Beach in Wailea, and they had to be rescued. Then, yesterday morning, a report came in of 3 local males on a raft in distress off Hanoapi'ilani Highway, around 300 yards from shore. They also had to be rescued. Spectators were treated to what is being called a once-in-a-lifetime volcanic event at the summit of Kilauea on Sunday. Lava fountains were shooting 1,000 feet in the air for 6 straight hours, stopping abruptly at 10:35 p.m. According to one observer, it was straight out of a movie. But it wasn't. It was real. It was mesmerizing, and no amount of video or photography can even begin to convey what it was actually like to be there. 232 swimmers from 16 swim clubs from around the state and a couple of clubs from the mainland took over Kihei Aquatic Center this past weekend for the 49th annual Coach Soichi Sakamoto Invitational. Cruz Storer from the Lahaina Swim Club came in 2nd and 3rd at states as a freshman. Recently, in March, as a 14-year-old, he set 4 state records. And this past weekend, the 15-year-old took home all 5 individual event titles, putting him at the top of his age group once again. Congratulations. Do you want to talk to your senator about Social Security? You can at this telephone town hall this Saturday, May 31st at 9 a.m. To join in, call 833-305-0175. Or you can watch a live simulcast or a recording of the event on the AARP Facebook page. One of the perks you get when you fly Southwest Airlines is that checked bags, including that surfboard, fly free. Well, not anymore. Today is the last day. Beginning tomorrow, the first checked bag is going to cost you $35, and the second one will set you back $45. The open boarding system will soon be gone also. The airline will do what every other airline does, put passengers in assigned seats next year. The eastbound lanes of Mayor Elmer F. Carvalho Way at Kahului Airport will be closed nightly beginning tonight, the 27th, and continuing Wednesday and Thursday. The lanes entering the airport will be closed from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. for safety improvements. Crews will be installing more of those teeth-rattling speed bumps, and rumble strips will be installed at a later date. The westbound lanes exiting the airport will remain open. The War Memorial Stadium football field, as well as the track and field facility, will be closed for a capital improvement project starting Friday, June 20th. The project is estimated to be completed by the summer of 2026. The parking lot will remain open during the project. For more information, you can call the Park Department's Planning and Development Division at 808-270-7931. Native leaders from across the country will convene in Honolulu June 2nd through the 4th for the annual Hawaiian Homelands Sovereignty Conference. Hosted by the Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead Associations, scholarships are available to cover the full $350 registration fee. For the itinerary and scholarship information, call 808-651-8370 or email Kara, K-A-R-A, at hawaiianhomesteads.org. State lawmakers passed amended legislation this session, hoping to accelerate Maui's wildfire recovery, and by approving a 60-day shot clock for counties to review building permits, a chronic cause of delay in construction projects in Hawaii. It not only facilitates recovery efforts currently underway, but it broadens the scope of the legislation to include other disaster-affected areas by exempting the reconstruction of any lawfully constructed structure destroyed in a disaster. Construction of a new $10.9 million modular administration building at Kalama Intermediate School may begin within 6 months. The first big hurdle, a final environmental assessment, was posted by the State Office of Planning and Sustainable Development, finding no historic sites or cultural resources at that school. Celebrate the start of summer in the heart of historic Wailuku Town at Wailuku First Friday next Friday, June 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. This month's free family-friendly street festival promises a lively mix of music, culture, food, and community connection. With eruptions going on frequently on Hawaii Island, and even when the eruption is over, it is never a good idea to try to walk on lava. Do not ever do what these guys are doing in the following clip. It is called Extremely Stupid Discovery Channel Shoot for a reason. Check this out.
This is an extremely stupid Discovery Channel shoot from 2006. The producers from LA or New York or wherever they were from flew to the Big Island, to Kilauea, to a lava flow for a program called Extreme Hawaii. It was extreme, all right. Extremely stupid. They decided to follow a couple of yahoos out onto newly formed lava. Pretty stupid. I mean, they could have very easily fallen to a crack to their death. I don't know what these yahoos were looking for, but they kept going out into the lava, almost got surrounded by po'e, slow-moving lava, and then they decided to poke the lava with mango sticks. The plan was to open a pottery business, believe it or not, make bowls out of lava. Really? What an insult to Madame Pele. What an insult to Hawaiian culture. When stupid people do stupid things and play with fire, oftentimes they get burned. It's lucky for them that Madame Pele was in a good mood that day.
And that's it for today's Maui Daily Report. Mahalo for joining us, and please keep watching Akaku, channels 53, 54, and 55. You can watch Akaku at akaku.org or on your phone 24/7 with our app Maui Stream. You can also listen to TMDR on the radio between 7 and 8 p.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM. This is how we stay connected. I'm Chivo Cheng Johnson. Stay healthy and always keep smiling. Aloha.